Let's go. Turn up. Let's go.
Hello everyone! I am here, we are here. It is a wonderful day today. And we have an overlay. We have artwork. Thanks to MRD. I will be sure to link to her Tumblr or other links, maybe Twitter, when she gets in, if she gets in today. But yeah, I just got done. So yesterday we had a raid, and I like to encourage people to be creative in whatever they do. And yesterday, it's the Sheppy raided. And so I made sure to thank them again today for the raid, and I subbed to their channel and I gave them a little bonus and just made their day, and it felt really good. So it's the Sheppy. I look forward to watching more of your streams, and thank you again for the shout out to mine, and I guess here we go. So yeah, it's a little quiet so far. It's okay, that's fine. Just kind of hanging out. It's what we do here. We hang out, we enjoy the day. I get through the braces and I'm actually wearing the correct vest today, which MRD has even tried to implement a more sci-fi version of my vest in the chat or in the overlay. So I think it turned out rather good. And I'm just checking. I actually had a fall today. Eep. Well, kind of a roly-poly tumble. It was rather amusing. So, yeah, fun times. It actually wasn't horrible. Like, I was getting out of my van to go to work. I had my big coffee. You guys have seen it in the previous streams, that big 32-ounce thing. Because I just, even though it was a good morning, I wanted to treat myself for something fun. And I go to get out of the van. The ramp doesn't completely deploy. And my wheelchair starts like doing this weird teeter thing. And then the wheel catches on the side because it teetered. And then I felt myself starting to go forward because, well, again, teetering. And so I'm gonna take these off because I'm just getting glare out of mine. I forgot to clean them before the stream. I started going, dress is all cattywampus. Fix that a little bit at least. It's hard because the braces interfere, but we make do. There we go. Yep, okay, that works. You let go, thank you. So yeah, basically, I was holding my coffee, rolling out the van, and I start to go this way. So, thankfully, long arms, I was able to like reach down partway to the ground and like half set down the coffee while I was landing, and it tipped over but barely spilled because the lid was on and I noticed quick enough. But I kind of did like this tumble. I kind of like rolled into the fall, so I didn't really fall as more as doing some gymnastics. It was rather amusing. So anyway, so it's been an interesting day. Going back to, I actually got that color pretty close. But considering that she was going off of an image that had bright sunlight on it, that's not bad. I like it. So anyway, back to It's the Sheppy. The individual that raided yesterday, I went over there, subbed to his channel, did a shout out to him, and he sent some followers my way. It looks like he sent like 3 or 4 people came and backlinked back to my thing. So thank you ahead of time. Let's see. I can see 2 of them here. 3? I can see 3. Okay, I can see all 3 here. Dragon 83 Negro, Underachiever Mako, and Umiforce. Thank you so much for the follows. I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you guys sometime in chat or lurking, whatever's more comfortable for you guys. So yeah, this is a very quiet day, which is okay. Oh, so I am not sure what I'm going to be working on today. I might work on some code. I need to get that image over onto my gaming screen as well. I got it set up on this screen and I forgot to get it set up on my gaming screen. But at least I got the overlay up, and now I can design the whole scene. All of a sudden, my phone got loud. Let's quiet the phone down because I don't need a lot of notifications on my phone as I'm chatting with you guys. Minimize. There we go. Stay. Sad? Oh, hello. Well, hello to you. How are you today? I'm just hanging out, doing the brace thing, standing around, chatting with people, having a good time, and most importantly, enjoying some coffee. Not the easiest thing to do standing up, but it's delicious all the same. So yeah, so I got the stream done that MRD completed for me. She actually completed it for me probably around noon today, and so I will definitely make sure it's on my gaming site as well. So any notifications that come in will pop up. She set it up so that basically it's like I'm pointing at the notification that comes in. Well, I guess it's on this side. Pointing at the notification that comes in. I think she did a good job. I really enjoy it. And she tried to do it kind of more futuristic. I do a little of everything. So all my streams, I do chatting. I do, these streams, the brace streams in particular. I use these braces for 2 hours a day. And so I come, especially right now in the wintertime when it's cold, it's wet out. It's not safe to be out there because I can slip. So I come in here and I hang out. And so I'll either we'll do games. If no one has suggestions, I actually created well, here, I'll pop over real quick. I created a randomizer for doing, what we'll do that day, basically. So like either story time, that's not really a game, or Destiny, so I do games sometimes. But we usually start off chatting and just hanging out. Yesterday I think yesterday was all chatting, and we just basically, we spent about 20 minutes. People asked me to do different voices, like cartoon voices. And so I did that for a while. And if people, yesterday we talked about if people came in today, we might do like a thing where if we have enough people in chat, that the people in chat will write the story, and I'll attempt to narrate it basically using different voices. So far it's a little quiet, which is fine. But if we get enough people later, we might still try to do that because I'm interested in seeing how that turns out. And people yesterday seemed interested in the prospect of trying that. Maybe eventually I might also do like just some type of role playing thing in here. That would take a bit more preparation to do. So yeah, that's roughly what I do, and also just trying to do a little better every day. I'm not great by any means on the whole streaming thing. I tend to repeat myself. I know, but I try to do something a little better every day. Just that, and so there we go. And it's a little hard, of course, when I'm standing up. I constantly getting breath. I mean, you can see it in the image. There's a chest strap that goes right across here under the vest, and so that tends to take a bit of the air out of me, so I don't move around too much. I do move around once in a while just to keep from getting too sore, but this is basically time for me to just interact with my viewers and let them. The other things I do on the weekends, I'm working more on doing just a pure gaming stream. And then on YouTube, I have primarily, like I'm transferring the streams over to that, but I'm working on getting back into recording more Minecraft episodes for some of the mod packs that I do. That's been kind of on back burner because one of the people that I record with has working on some stuff in real life, and so haven't been able to coordinate schedules. But we're getting to the point where it's two of us are ready to stream, third one's not quite ready. We may have to start, or not stream, but record. We may have to do some recordings without the third person for right now until the schedules match up, and then they can catch back up to where we're at. We don't progress that fast. We do it more for the entertainment. So yeah, it's kind of my channel in a nutshell. My theme behind my channel, though, is I like to encourage people to be creative in whatever they do, or to enjoy, or whatever, to do more of what they enjoy, in whatever means I have possible. And that can be anything from, verbal encouragement to, when I went today and hung out with It's the Sheppy. Hello, MRD. It is up. It is there. And it looks amazing as always. So, what do I enjoy to do? Well, I love gaming. I love programming. I love, I do a little bit of art. Nothing as good as MRD. I do enjoy it though. It's relaxing. I do enjoy being outside more, especially when the weather's nicer and I can get around a little easier in the wheelchair. A little harder right now, but all is good. We have different styles, let's put it that way. And I love how easy you make your style look to do. And I enjoy the zen feeling when I'm doing my style. How about that? Is that better? So, yeah, today I was over, so MRD, so I used to run my own web application business. Technically I still run it, but I'm not actively engaging with new clients at this point because I've gone through an energy management program and I'm now working with a group of engineers for doing lighting and other electrical design for institutional buildings like schools and such. But I enjoy working primarily with web-based languages, such as PHP, MySQL, jQuery, and HTML, CSS, along that line. I can play with other stuff. My first programming experience was in '93 when I was in the car wreck that put me in the wheelchair. Shriners Hospital had a computer applications class per se, and it was using Macintosh Classics using HyperCard and Hypertext or HyperTalk. And so I didn't realize I was learning object-oriented programming by the container method at the time. All I know is I enjoyed it. And I created a little space exploration game that spanned a full floppy disk. Showing my age a little there, floppy disks. Granted it wasn't a 5.5 floppy, but still a floppy disk. So, yeah. And let's see. So MRD, even though I fell earlier today, I'm still up in the braces. Not doing too bad. I'll be a little sore on my lower back probably tonight, but nothing major. Oof. Eep. There we go. So MRD, I was mentioning this ad, and I mentioned a little bit ago, I actually went over to It's the Sheppy's channel and chatted for a bit, and you know, he actually seems like a pretty cool guy. Yes, it was a car wreck when I was 10. I was in a minivan and it was a head-on collision. And basically it was... The van series that I was in was the last van series where they had just lap belts in the back of the minivan. And so I basically became a human whip. And it snapped my lower back, it severed the spinal column, and so from about here down, I have no movement. And so that's why these braces are full body. And, you know, MRD actually did a very good job representing them in there. So it's, and that was, oh gosh, that was in '93, so quite a while ago. And I used walking braces for a few years. They started breaking more often than I thought because I didn't know they made stronger parts for them. So I appreciate it greatly, MRD. So yeah, it all stemmed back to a car wreck, but you know, I do well, and I enjoy everything I do. So there we go. And I'm actually getting close to being able to adjust the legs on these. Make the legs just a little bit straighter. Even today, even with some inflammation, the leg was loose enough that it actually unlocked on me before I got up, and I almost took a second tumble because I didn't pay attention to one of the locks on this knee being in place. And so as I stood up, I'm like, oh, hello, I have a little bit of flexibility there that shouldn't be there. So I had to get back down and make sure that knee was locked, because I don't need to be flat on the ground twice in one day. Let's see what we have here. So yeah. Oof. Okay. Get back a little closer here. What else do we have going on? MRD, I know we were... Yes, the colors turned out really good. And yeah, you know, I could take it... I need to move that chat. I know I can see the chat on the side, but when I go back and I move these to YouTube, and then I'll answer your statement here in a second. I'm experimenting with where everything goes, and this is just, I'm gonna have to deal with this one today. Like, it worked good over on the other side because that door is dark. I could put probably a block behind it. Oh, you know what? That's what I could do. I could put a block behind here. Give me just a second. Put a block behind. And we'll go color source. Add. Chat background. And we'll just do a black one for right now. And we'll call it good. And done. And I need to move it behind the chat so that, and then I can clean this up later. Wonderful. Ew, stop that. Okay, good enough for now. So yeah, no, I could have taken it very negatively, I understand. But you know what? There's so much that I can do that without the use of my legs, it's more of a challenge than anything. But I dislike it when people tell me that there's stuff I can't do. I see it more as a challenge to at least try to do something. So yeah. No hugs yet today. I'm surprised. I know he was interested in trying to do the story narration. Maybe he'll pop in a little bit. So, what else do we have going on right now? You see kitties? Oh yeah, that's Gizmo in the background. Here, let me, boop. There's Gizmo. Gizmo! What are you doing back there? Intrigued by something outside, that's for sure. Come on, Gizmo. So, oh, what do we have? Oh, and there's Gizmo coming back in. Under the bed? Under the bed. Bye, Gizmo. So, yes. So if we don't get enough people to do the, or for it to feel viable to do the story narration, what would we like to work on today? Obviously, we have plenty of options. Oh, there's Gizmo. Hi, Gizmo. Stardew? Yeah, we could probably do some Stardew. That one's just relaxing enough. It might not be a bad idea. I haven't worked much. I think I did just a little bit. I cleared out some of the brush in there the other day. So, and I think I got a couple plants planted, but I haven't done much more than that. Most of them I've been trying to do just stuff on camera. Because I'm trying to stand up here. So, yeah, we can definitely, we'll hang out for a bit, chat a little longer with people, and then, depending on what we do, we'll probably end up going into Stardew Valley here soon. But I have my coffee today. It's not doing wonders for speaking, but it sure tastes good. And let's see. We got Stardew. I will at least launch it and mute it in the background so we have it ready to go so it doesn't take forever to load. That'll save a little bit of time at least when we eventually switch. If we switch. We'll probably end up switching. So, oh, and I have... Do I have that in here? Or do I have that in here? I have... Oh, it's there. Okay. I want this. Copy. And I want to paste it in here. I don't know if it's gonna be right, but Hugs had asked if the other day if I had a donation goal, and I thought, and that's not what I want. Go away. And I finally got one figured out. Let me just add it in real quick. And it's gonna be all add existing. There it is. So something to help the stream. Since I do quite a bit of going back and forth on sources or overlays, I started looking the other day at what it would take, or like what type of macro keyboards there were. And this popped up, and a few larger, yeah, a few larger streamers recommend or like showed how they used it, and I'm like, okay, it's $130, but at the same time, it's okay. Mute that. Perfect. Okay, that's set up. I've heard some really good recommendations for it, and just to be able to switch between things or load things, you know, I could press a button depending on what happens. So like if a sad thing happens in the game, I can press a button and have Sad Bunny show. Where's my Sad Bunnies? See, that's why I don't have to look for things like that. Like, oh, here's Sad Bunny. Oh, Sad Bunny's hiding behind the chat. Why is Sad Bunny behind the chat? Let's put Sad Bunny in front of the chat. Here we go. Sad Bunny. As cute as ever. Another MRD original. So, yeah, so the Elgato Stream Deck is the donation goal. Eventually I will get it either way, but you know, since Hugs explicitly asked about donation goals, I figured I would take a look, and there's a goal. If we hit it, great. If not, that's fine as well, because that is not the focus. So I'm gonna move this out of the way where it's kind of just not, people don't even have to worry about it, because it is never, I never want to feel like a burden on people financially, especially. There we go. Just kind of out of the way. So, and you know, to be honest, I actually, I went over, as I was saying earlier, I went over to, it's the Sheppy's channel, and he, you know, when I got in there, he was doing, I think it was Xenoblade, and just having a good stream to begin with. I think he was already up to around 22 people or so, and so I gave him a pretty good donation as well, and it made his day, and it is such a good feeling to know that you can have, even doing little things like that, just have such a positive impact on streams, on creators, because that's really, you know, I mean, in MRD, I know you kind of get this as well, is we like to do stuff because we enjoy it, and we love to do stuff to entertain people, as well as even spark encouragement for people to do stuff themselves. And I thoroughly like to see the look on his face when he got do I have it? I think I have it in here somewhere.
What?
Okay, so how do I get this clip? I want this clip. Someone sent me, or they actually sent a clip in the chat, so give me just a second here. Alright, so this is, you know, okay, it was one of my larger tips that I do, like when I cause chaos in the squad. But you know what? It was totally worth it. Here, I'm gonna put it in chat so you guys can go and see. And I encourage you guys to follow him back. He's fun to hang out with. And he encouraged everyone on his channel to go over to here. And so it's definitely fair that I encourage the same. But here is the link to the 47-second clip. And I don't know how long that'll stay active, but it's at least there right now. Ah, hey Dragon, you were there. I didn't know you were in the channel right now. Good to see you again. And yes, Dragon Negro was over at It's the Sheppies. Everyone there just seems really cool to hang out with. I enjoyed my time over there. I was watching his stream and what he does. And I just had a lot of fun while I was getting ready for this stream, prepping, making sure the braces were working, and just had a lot of fun over there. And so I definitely, I'm glad I was able to help encourage him as well, just as he did for me yesterday. So, small shout out to It's the Sheppy, and I don't remember the name of his dragon. What's the name of his bearded dragon? Dragon 83. Is it? It starts with a D, I think, doesn't it? Like Dooku or something. But cute little dragon. So yeah, it was good to see. It was good that I could enlighten or to make someone's day that much better. And yeah. So let's see. Give you guys a second to watch that, and then we'll continue on. I know I had more stuff I wanted to talk about, but I didn't write it today because I should hush for a moment, just to let you guys finish that. Dinky, that's right, because he boops Dinky. He boops him on the snoot. So cute. I enjoyed that, and I like how he switches up his scenes as well. And he has like the bar and stuff. It's very creative. I greatly enjoyed it. Yep, boop the snoot. So, yeah, anyone that's... I have the itchy nose again today. Anyone that is viewing this after the fact, definitely check out his channel. In fact, copy link address. And boop. No, I want the actual thing. I want his... Here, let's do this. Let's stop. And I'll just get the full link. He's still going. He's still going at it. So it's... Here we go. So definitely give this guy a follow. I enjoyed hanging out over at his channel for a bit. So definitely. Eep. Oh, gotta move around a little bit. Yeah, see, MRD, when you're asking me on your artwork about the... you were saying that you're... No, okay, so are you running on a laptop or a desktop, first of all? Because the person that I record with, one of them, he was running on a laptop for a while, and that was rough, but we made it work. MSI laptop, they usually do okay. Is it so I mean, yeah, I can see where there would be some issues with it, but yeah, I mean, and that's what makes it hard is your people want to be creative, they want to do creative things for other people, so things like streaming, but then you're constantly having to get new gear, new update computers so that you have better gear. I mean, MRD, you had to replace your video card not too long ago. Is that like about a month ago, right? Because your previous one died, and it's all and yeah, see, Dragon, originally I did not get this computer for streaming. I mean, I did, but I didn't. Because of the work that I do, I'm working with Autodesk software, so AutoCAD and Revit, working in large buildings, and so it needed to have that extra and ironically it works better than my computer at work now that I've taken over part of the administration role at work, or I did for a while. We brought someone in now to help alleviate that load, and found out that the software we're using, the previous IT admin thought that it worked better with more cores. Turns out it works better with a single core. For whatever reason, I don't know why this is the case for Revit especially, but it works better with a single core at a higher speed than with multiple cores at a lower speed. So I don't know if the same can be said for AutoCAD, but definitely for Revit, which is this 3D brother basically. But yeah, that's basically what I work with each day. And I thoroughly enjoy it because it gives me a chance to be creative. My official title is electrical designer. And so I plan things like electrical outlets, lighting fixtures. So we're constantly seeing new stuff going on in the lighting market. I do basic calculations, and I work with a team of about, well, let's see, there's a few designers there, so probably around 20 engineers. But there's like 35 of us all together. And it's a really good environment, and I greatly enjoy it. And that's the reason that I can help support the smaller streamers, like myself even, because I make enough there that I live comfortably, and I like to give back to the people around as well, so they can do more. And you know, it's not a huge amount. Like yes, okay, it's a big tip, but you know, that $100, it made his day. It made him smile so big. It caught him off guard, had the biggest grin on his face. And I'm ready to cry because that's the type of thing I enjoy doing. And that's why I use the name Quixote on the internet. I combine both the Spain and Mexico spellings, first of all. That's why it looks different. But I use the name Quixote because, as someone mentioned in chat, and I think it might have been you who made the reference, not everyone catches the reference right away, but the reference of the Man of La Mancha, Don Quixote de la Mancha. Toqué 5 años de español, pero necesito practico más. Basically, I don't know if everyone understood that, but basically I said I took 5 years of Spanish, but I need to practice more. I've lost much of what I've learned, but I do enjoy learning other languages, at least in a little bit at a time. But more importantly, Don Quixote de la Mancha considered himself the last knight of chivalry. And so I see it as being, you know, I play on that a little bit as the last doña of creativity. And so I love being creative. I love channeling the ability to help others be creative. And yeah, no, it's, let's see. Yeah, no, and I've seen some huge donations out there. And, you know, honestly, yesterday, when my channel got rated, as I mentioned in Sheppy's chat, I didn't even know that was a thing. So I went and I looked up videos of raids, and I've seen them both on both ends. I've seen where people do more of like the wonderful, you know, just like bombarding with a bunch of people, encouraging people, and I've seen the pranksters. Wilney, I think, is the biggest prankster out there, or one of them, where all of a sudden your chat will be bombarded and there'll be something like, there's a spider on your shoulder, and, you know, all in good fun, but still. And then I came across Mr. Beast. And I was so impressed with this person because, you know, he's grown exponentially over the last few months. He's at 11 million subscribers on YouTube now. Sheppy rated you once. Yeah, exactly. This little bearded dragon is so cute. But yeah, so Mr. Beast, or I think it's Mr. Beast or whatever, I watched some of his videos last night. And so what I did today, he does exponentially. He'll go into people's like Fortnite streams or talking streams or whatnot. And randomly, just like, you know, 1, 2, 5, I saw up to $30,000 donations. And I'm just like, I mean, I'm doing a fraction of that just to, you know, boost people's spirits, encourage people. You know, even, I mean, heck, even today. Yeah, 30K. He has it on YouTube. Because he shows when he does stuff like this sometimes. But he always makes mention in there that he does this to encourage the people, because without the viewers, without the smaller people, he would not be where he is today. And he acknowledges this. Even though he has 11 million followers, he constantly acknowledges this, and he thanks everyone. And he tries to encourage everyone to keep doing what they're doing and just uplift their spirits. I mean, even today, this morning, MRD was working on my commission. Yes, no, there is that. And and that's usually the first response is people are like, is this real? Am I going to get a charge back? Because I do realize that is a thing. And that's why I think Stream Elements helps prevent stuff like that, where Streamlabs does not yet. Or I know they have a way to block potential people that do that, but I don't think it's built in. I'm still trying to learn all that. But yeah, no, like even today I was, MRD was working on my commission, and, as I mentioned this weekend, MRD did the Poor Bunny. And that was just out of the blue. I wasn't expecting Sad Bunny. But, I wanted to do something a little extra for MRD today, so I actually gave her a tip at the beginning of her stream today. Sad Bunny is it's my thing, like when I'm doing a game, if there's a sad moment in the game or something, I'm like, oh, Sad Bunny. And there's actually, can't really see it, but there's a bunny on my bed. And it kind of reminds me of Sad Bunny, but pink. My pet, I have 4 kitties myself. And let's see, so you can kind of see, right here is my black kitty. And it kind of looks like it's the Cheppy's black kitty. And I saw his kitty and I was like, ooh, it's Gaz. But yeah, and that's one of the next things I'm working on with MRD is doing like a stream starting soon where I'll be like this kind of, and the kitties will be hanging off of me. I'm looking forward to working on that one for you guys. So, yeah. What do we have? I mean, it's kind of quiet today, which is nice. Yes, I'm looking forward to that one. Oh, I need to work on improving or adding more to my playlist. Because even I'm getting a little bored of the same songs over and over. Well, I'm sure you guys are. But, yeah. So that's more than anything, like, I enjoy being creative for you guys. I enjoy the process of being creative and making the streams and constantly improving my own abilities, but then helping others improve their abilities for whatever they enjoy doing as well. And that's really, for me, it brings so much joy to bring others joy, basically, in that regard. So that's why I do that. More coffee. Oh, yes, my back is definitely going to be sore later on. I try to cool down my room at night because I sleep better that way. Try to get it down to around 65 if I can. But that's going to wreak some havoc on my lower back for sure. Definitely need to use the back massager tomorrow. And no more flying out of the van. No more falling out of the wheelchair. No more of that. Ooh, new mattress. Very nice. Yay, Gary Fan's here. Welcome. Okay, so Gary Fan, I have information for you. I know why the bandwidth quality on here is not great. Apparently, unless you're partner with Twitch, that's the only time that you get the extra transcribing, or transcoding, excuse me, to get the other bandwidth rates. So the one thing that I love about YouTube, you don't get on Twitch consistently until you're partner. I guess affiliate, it's like a roll of the die if you get it or not, depending on how many people are in your view. So yeah, unfortunately I only get a single quality. So I'm gonna try to get better at uploading stuff to YouTube faster when I finish the stream, so that especially like viewers like you that have a hard time viewing in Twitch get to follow along. Well, not follow along, follow after, I guess, but can at least enjoy the stream as well. So, but we are I could and I'm working on playing around with OBS. Yeah, and I agree. But I'm so, at the same time, I'm so used to YouTube doing that for me because I do a lot of recorded content as well. I'm gonna finagle with OBS and have it, and try to get it set up so I can do a stream at 720, but have it record on the back end at 1080. So then when I upload it to YouTube, it'll still be at 1080. I mean, when I record for Minecraft and stuff like that, I mean, I set it to 1080 with 60 FPS, and I use that for my source quality. But no, I do agree with you. When I'm just doing stuff like this, it doesn't actually need to be 1080. I could get by just fine with 720. I agree. And then, you know, but at the same time, later on, I do also switch into games. So because my game screen, I mean, I'll go into it real quick. Oh, there's the randomizer. Let's fix that. So sometimes I do coding, sometimes I do other stuff. Yeah, no, and I know it's more common to do live streams on... Why is my camera gone? Okay. Camera disappeared. There it is. So programs and games. Here we go. So let's disable Edit Plus. And let's open up Stardew. Do I not have it active? What is it trying to see? Oh, no. Oh, it's pointing to the wrong game. There we go. Now it should launch any second. There we go. So when I have this thing full screen, you know, because I keep the chat on here and I have this, so people can, because I know eventually I'm not gonna be able to keep up with reading everyone's chat to me aloud, I try to keep it somewhat inclusive on here, but I want people to be able to see the whole game stream as well. So I'm playing with my overlays a bit, trying to get them laid out better. I'm going to be setting up a stuff in conjunction with the artwork that MRD has done for me to get everything to fit together. But as you can see, if I did 720p on this, I mean, this is already probably at what, like, probably 1,000. So, I don't know if we're quite ready to start Stardew yet, but I'm using it as an example for what's visible and how much still screen real estate I have. And so I am working on rearranging stuff to have a better layout. Well, here, let me confirm or deny that claim of how much life it will take. It's one of the ones I like more. I've already been, like, between this and my laptop, I've been on it 54 hours. Not quite as much as Empyrean, though. Empyrean, I've been on Empyrean 246 hours. I like the creative games. Let's see, Colony Survival, I've already been on 33 hours. Alright, well, take care, Dragon83, and I will attempt to keep being awesome, and you keep being awesome as well, and yeah, have a wonderful day. And so now, bye-bye! Ooh, yay. E. Okay, and let's see. This thing is not in full screen, is it? It is not in full screen. I have to that's right, I have to change the options for Stardew Valley from within the game. I keep forgetting that. It's a whole page inside of the game, and it doesn't give the option beforehand to do that. So we're not technically at full screen yet. We're almost at full screen, but not quite. So we will probably be starting the game here soon. For right now, I'm going to go back to the webcam and chat. We'll hang out for a little bit longer. We're just at the halfway point for the stream. Yeah, we're just about at the halfway point. Right about the halfway point. So probably in about 10 minutes or so, we will switch over to Stardew Valley and see what we can do in there. I tried not to progress too much. I think I interacted with one new person. Yeah, I think I interacted with one new person and was like, oh, I should have done that on camera, but oh well. So yeah, that was that was just a really good, like, that last half hour went by really fast, but I enjoyed it. MRD, I did as you can see on the image, I did a glow around it just to make it a little more visible around the edges, especially as I'm working on the layout of the interface for my stream. I'll probably shrink that image down a little more, but it turned out, I love your artwork. I love your methodology. I love how everything turns out. I mean, I think there's been only one thing that you've made, like one particular portion where I was like, I'm not real fond of that. And you're like, okay, no problem. But everything you make is like, it's you with your bamboo tablet is gold. So yes, and actually MRD, I was going to do this earlier and then I closed the window. So if you would like to post your Twitter, or I know you're having some qualms with Tumblr right now, but if you want to post your Twitter or something in the chat, feel free to. It's the Sheppy is here. Hello again, and we have a party of 14 today. Oh my goodness. Thank you, it's the Sheppy. You know what? You are amazing as always. And yes. It is so good to see you again, and I enjoyed your stream. I actually watched your stream up until I was ready for my stream, and I enjoy listening to your stream, and I love the creativity. I love your bearded dragon. Your cat reminds me of my kitty, my black kitty over here. So yeah, I look forward to coming and hanging out in your channel more. It's perfect ambiance for getting ready for my stream. Just the creative nature that you encourage in your channel. I've been talking about it for most of the first half of my stream. So, Dinky, it is Dinky, okay. Pearl is ambivalent. Well, that's Gaz for you as well. Gaz is ambivalent for most people. So, but yeah, I was telling everyone, the look on your face when I donated to your channel, I love encouraging people to be creative. That is, in my opinion, that is why we have platforms such as Twitch, such as, even YouTube, or other streaming platforms. Well, I have seen some people come over. We've had 3 or 4 come over already. 3 people, and I made sure to, at the beginning of today's stream, I made sure to thank each and every one of them for coming in. Actually, you just missed Dragon. He came over for a little bit and hung out. But no, it was, I thank you again. Oh, and we're getting some more. And okay, so we have Rachel Alucard, Ellie. And then we have It's the Sheppy follows as well. It doesn't always it doesn't always show, so I have to switch over to the live section. So just in case there was two that happened at once. Okay, so yeah, I got both. I got you and I got Rachel Alucard Ellie. Yeah, that's what he was saying. He says you've rated him a few times, so he comes over and hangs out for a bit. It was just, and it's fun to watch your process too, like as you switch screens. You know, right now I'm working towards, and I'll get it eventually, but when I stream or I'm watching streams, my first goal is to encourage creators. And everything else comes second to that because, okay, I take it back. My first goal is to have fun. My second goal is to encourage creators because we encourage each other to do good and to create more content. MRD is an artist. She does stuff like this. She did Sad Bunny for me this weekend, which is amazing. Yeah, no, and it's, you know, it takes constant work. So here, let me just open up my image overlays. And so this is why I'm working on getting the Elgato Stream Deck, is because I like to show off stuff like this that people do. And so like for my Minecraft channel, I haven't been able to use this yet. I'm looking forward to using it soon. Still, I've said this for a little bit, but like this, and of course I have this one hiding now, but she's done this for my channel. She's really talented and I love getting stuff from her, right? And so because I like to show stuff off, I like to encourage people to do stuff. I'm constantly flipping back and forth between things and getting lost and trying to find stuff. I know it's going to help me immensely just be able to go click, 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 click and not have to hunt for it. So yes, that is, I mean, I have a whole list of stuff. You know, this thing is on its way here. This thing is arriving between today and Friday. And so that whole stream, or at least until it's together, we'll be assembling it and getting it up and going. Because that will be perfect height for when I'm standing and in the braces. So yes, I thank you again for the raid yesterday, and I'm glad that it's an awesome desk. It is, and programmable heights, and from my understanding, it's not too loud either. So if I had to adjust it mid-stream, it wouldn't be horrible for, you know, a moment or so. But you know, that one I just bought that probably a week ago or so. It wasn't a 2-day delivery, so it had a little bit of a lag on it. So I got that. I got the under cab CPU mount for it, or the under desk CPU mount, and combine that with possibly the Elgato Stream Deck. And then I think if I can figure out how to utilize it efficiently, and only if I can figure out how to utilize it efficiently, this guy. I've heard great things about it. I have some ideas of how to implement something like it. But when I'm doing recording, adjusting audios drives me bonkers, especially if I'm chatting with people on Discord. And so even on Discord, I have okay, I have a mixer already. Technically, I have a mixer already. I have a whole bunch of stuff that's MIDI based. I inherited a bunch of audio stuff from my dad, who was a bit of an audiophile. Loved working with audio. He had the big ASR 10 keyboard, and I inherited all of that. It's not real efficient to use some of this stuff, I might just end up getting a MIDI to USB interface and utilize that system, but it's huge. I mean, even with the desk that I'm getting, it's huge and it's heavy. So I'm thinking something like the Yamaha MG10XU, where it's smaller, it's got a smaller footprint. You know, I got, you know, it's not really compatible with my microphone. I got the, you know, this guy, the Yeti, but it works. And, you know, I just keep adding to it. I keep adding so I can do more stuff for everyone around. You know, I'm, again, work on the interface. I love, when I'm doing the recording, I love to improve, right? I love to improve little aspects every time. I mean, I think when I finally got back into recording on Minecraft, I started working on the Forever Stranded series for the mod pack, and I recorded the first 2 episodes with Slayer Mice, and the audio was just crap. And I listened to them like, this sucks. I mean, I was talking kind of like this. You could barely hear me. But Slayer Mice was yelling just because of what Discord did to the audio. But I posted it anyway. And I know that anyone that goes to watch the YouTube, the Forever Stranded series on YouTube is probably, you know, that's probably where they get turned off, is the first 2 episodes, because the audio sucks. I know this. So I'm always working on making that better. I find ways to make the audio better. I find ways to improve workflow. I find ways to improve editing. You know, depending on how much editing I do. When running a chat stream, it really helps by cutting down. Lag time. Streaming in low latency. I may need some assistance in looking into that. I might look into that later, because I have viewers that have followed me over to Twitch for right now from YouTube because of that whole transcoding issue that we were talking about earlier. And you know, it's the same thing I deal with. Is when I go to view people, it really hurts, and it blocks out even when I'm viewing other people. And so it's, yeah, no, I agree. I am looking for ways to make it run well. And okay. And I think I've been running probably about 8 or 9 seconds or so recently. And I know there is significant lack there, and I'm finding ways to try to improve even just on my end on what gets transferred by setting up, you know, like web-based overlays as opposed to bringing stuff directly in. Because from my understanding, it makes things run a little faster anyway if I use like a web source, if I'm understanding that correctly. And if I'm not, you know, that's fine. I'm totally into learning how to make things better, because it's part of the creative process. So yeah, no, I do agree that it could be better. I know at times I sound completely dorky. Like when you guys came to stream me or raid my channel yesterday, I sounded like a dork. I probably sound like a dork today, rambling on. But I'm having fun, and I'm enjoying the time with you guys. And really, that's what, in my opinion, that's what it comes down to, is being able to enjoy what I do and enjoy it with friends. So, yeah, no, and I loved hanging out in your chat or in your stream earlier. You have very good energy in your stream, and everyone seems to cohere very nicely in your stream. You'll be surprised to find out how quickly free-flowing stream of consciousness gets easier with time. It is. Yeah. And it is, you know, even when I have 0 followers in here, how did you word it earlier when you were talking about your process for finding people to raid in just chatting? It's like, it was somewhere along the lines of, you know, the people in just chatting, they're baller because many times they'll be talking to 1 or 2 people or no one, and they're just pushing through. And, at times that happens. If my regulars aren't here to interact with, I will be talking to a blank camera sometime. Or, I'll start into a game early. Like we have right now, we have Stardew Valley ready to go if the chat goes slower. Right, exactly. That makes total sense. Always stream as if there's already the audience there, because it gets easier the more you do it. Less rambling. Hide your stream numbers from yourself. As far as like the chat, or like how many viewers are in at the moment. That makes sense. I could see that. Yeah, no, and I could totally understand that. Like, I can see especially if they stay low for long enough that, it can cause some somatics, and play tricks on you. So I can totally see that. The downside is, and I need to figure out a way to use something over it or something, but because I am trying what you're doing, not worrying about the numbers. Yeah. And so like yesterday when you came in and I was showing off the wheelchair, I mean, you see I use way more than I should, I admit, but when I was showing off the wheelchair that I'm getting, or this is the style of chair that I'm getting, I was moving an arrow around and like a cursor, and I know that's not the best thing to do. I don't know what programs work well for that, for being able to do something like that off the screen, so I don't even have to look at Streamlabs or OBS except for the alerts. Yeah, that one is this. It's the frame that I'm getting. This one's definitely set up, as I mentioned yesterday, in a sports mode. It's just right off their website, but it's the same color as I'm getting, the candy purple. But I was showing off the frame, and it's the same frame I have. It's just different wheel setup. I mean, here's the chair that I was in today when I took a tumble. Oh, you didn't even hear about that. I took a tumble earlier today when I was getting to work. Almost lost my big coffee too. Managed to save it though. But yeah, it's a beast of a wheelchair, but it's also the most versatile for a rigid frame, in my opinion. Not tumblered, but no, I was getting out of my ramp van this morning to go to work, and I just kind of went whoop and tumble out. And I was holding this big 32, can't even see, there we go. Let's not even look at that. So I was holding this big 32-ounce plastic coffee mug from Dutch Brothers, and the ramp did not deploy all the way at the very end, which threw my wheelchair off, which allowed the wheelchair to catch on the ramp to find the one thing. Yeah, well, and I know MRD is, she's hosted most of her, from my understanding, and MRD, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that she's hosted most of her commission information from there. And so, I've been hearing about the stuff going on with Tumblr more than I ever knew I would, because MRD is staying up to date on what's been going on in there. And it doesn't sound like a very good situation right now. It sounds, it's kind of the be cautious of everything you do because your account can be gone at any moment type situation. And that's not good for anyone. Yeah, pretty much. I was betrayed by a ramp. And so it was amusing though, because I'm holding my coffee. I'm starting to tilt this way while I'm holding the coffee, and the ramp is going down. And so I start leaning forward, and I try to reach as far as I can to reach the ground, set the coffee down before anything. Not even worried about falling safely at the moment. I'm worried about getting the coffee on the ground so I can save it. And once the coffee's on the ground, then I start like going into this weird roll, and as I'm rolling, I land fine, but I see the coffee cup tip, but it has a lid on it, so almost nothing spilled. But as I land, the first thing I do is pick it back up. I was worried more about the coffee than myself at that moment. But the annoying thing was, through all of this, is how oblivious people get. When I fell, there was someone walking by, heading to the local school. I'm assuming it was a teacher, because it wasn't one of the students. Didn't notice me falling. Just kept walking. And then a few moments later, as I'm trying to get back into the chair, which I am sorely out of practice on, I realized today, someone else walked by. Didn't even notice, didn't even see me. I was invisible to them. It wasn't until one of my coworkers saw me as he was coming up the walkway, saw me struggling to get in the chair, that he started running towards me. I got in finally, and so he carried my coffee in for me. But I mean, that was the third person to come by, and no one else noticed. And I was like, what? I mean, and they weren't on their phone even. Like, it wasn't a case of, someone going like this. Right. So, if anything, here's what I can say to that. For me, and this is a wording thing for me, and I know it's not for everyone, but when I'm in the wheelchair, and if you're around and you see me struggling, wording is very important to me, and how you say it. So I do much better with, would you like assistance? Or would you like help? Versus, do you need help? Want versus need. Want recognizes the ability for me to be able to do stuff myself. And need, even that. Even, can I give you a hand? It's funny because that is what Damon, my coworker, said today is, can I give you a hand? And me, even having just fallen and gotten back in, I instinctively go to humor and I'm like, sure. Yeah, I led with a pun on a clap. Right? And it's just, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just, and I hang out with Damon at work all the time, and he's a casual, good guy there, and he's always tries to be conscious of people around him, and he just like, oh hey, can I give you a hand? And it's but you know what? Even with all that happened this morning, I'm a little sore. It's not a big deal. I try not to let stuff like that. Obviously, I don't know if people were ignoring me or if they just didn't notice me. That's probably the one thing that irked me the most. But even that, other than that, it's been a fantastic day. I know the desk is coming. I actually just, what came today was a 7 or 10 port USB-C to USB 3 hub. So I'm hoping to get a little better speeds on some of my USB devices. And just, it's being able to get around, being able to do things, being able to work. And, you were asking earlier, Sheppy, if I could afford it. If I could afford the donation that I gave you. And yes, I can. I work as an electrical designer, which is a lower position, but I work with engineers. And I work hard. And part of the reason why I do that is because I work to be able to help other people in our community as creators. No, and I totally get that. And I would probably do the same thing. because, you know, I know people get kind of starry-eyed over people that they've just found, and they'll be like, oh my goodness, this person's amazing, I'm gonna give them all the things. But no, in all honesty, it's because I recognize you as a creator, and I like to encourage creators. And I set aside a budget each month for donating to different creators. And so yes, it is always within my budget. If I donate, it's because it's in my budget. So enjoy the donation, and I hope that you find some good use to put it back in your stream. But you are a creator. I mean, okay. Take your midstream bar time, where you go to the bar. I mean, that took time and effort to create that portion. You are a creator. I mean, I do small stuff like this. I'm working on building stuff up. But you built a whole bar scene, and you've turned yourself into a digital bartender. That's impressive. I mean, even if you don't think it's impressive, that is impressive to come up with that concept and to integrate people in your stream within that. That's cool. And that is the type of stuff that I love to be able to support when I can. So totally, anytime. I'm guessing that was probably a little later on. But no, I was there for most of the game, and then I had to leave a little bit after the... Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, no, and eventually I want to set up some of my overlays with, either like a desk or something. Eventually I'm going to try to get it set up, because one of my passions, and I'm out of practice, is cooking. And I'd love to be able to just, like, as I'm hanging out with people, just be like working on making some good food or something. It's the house. Okay. So in 2007, I built a house 2 hours away from where I'm at now, when I did more web programming. And that house had that house, I set up the cooking range on an island in the kitchen. The kitchen was 14 feet by 14 feet, and it had an outward facing island with a bar that could sit up to 9 people. I still have the Google SketchUp model of it, and I forgot to move it over to this computer today, because I was going to have it up because someone asked about it yesterday. But I designed it that way, and it was a giant ranch house, single floor, obviously, because of the wheelchair. But I designed it that way because I like to entertain my guests. I like to interact with them. And so, on the computer, yeah, my viewport is right there. Imagine the range right here. It's the same thing. I interact with people. I enjoy interacting with people and having a good time. And that's really, it's important to me to be able to do something positive for people. So yeah, eventually I'll be able to set up hopefully a cooking thing, and I know kind of how I'll set it up as well, but people do enjoy stuff like that. So I always try to encourage streamers, recorders, even people that do recording or want to do recording. They'll come to me with some videos and be like, hey, what do you think of this? And I'll look at it, and if I will always give at least one critique if I can find something based off my knowledge, but I will always encourage them and say, hey, this is looking amazing. And not just, in vain, not just to be, well, I mean, I am kind about it, but I also give you a critique. I wasn't really looking for something to critique at the time. I was honestly, after I did the donation, I was kind of in my own little world listening to you as I was doing the, as I was getting ready, for my stream. I was getting overlays set up to show off and whatnot. So I wasn't paying total attention, like, I don't know. I didn't really see anything right offhand. I'll tell you what. Tomorrow, actually, I think tomorrow is your wildcard day, right? I was looking at your schedule, and I know you have a wildcard day, but I'll take a closer look. How's that? I'll take a closer look and see if I can. Okay, Friday. I'll see if I can find something to critique, but I didn't notice anything today. But like, if people come to me with like, my friend that I record with, he finally, I worked with him to get him a better computer, close to the computer that I have, because for him it works well and was within his price budget. Because he was running off of a small laptop before, and so then he started sending me small videos, and so I'd be like, oh, hey, I noticed you're doing this. Why don't you? I mean, obviously, I can't stand to watch my streams all the way through because I mean, yeah, but I give him small pointers on, it's looking really good so far. Why don't you tweak this just a little bit? And be like, oh, I'll try that. And then he comes back later with another video, and it's just like worlds different already. But no, and I'll go and I don't watch my entire stream. I'll go and I'll just like watch little bits here and there. So like, after you rated me yesterday, I went and I went to your stream after you were done with your video, and I looked to see if you included the portion where you rated me, and you did, and I sounded like a complete dork. But at the same time, that helped me like, oh, I need to go back and I cross-referenced it basically with my stream to kind of get more context of what was going on. And, that helped me like today when you guys came in. Well, now I know what's going on. Now I know what a raid is. And so it helped me to interact more with you guys directly and to appreciate everyone that was coming in since I knew what was going on. It would be nice if a feature or if that type of feature was more advertised, I guess, or more mentioned. Because it's hiding in the background, I didn't even know it was there. I didn't know to look in the gear area to find stuff for raids, and so I had no idea what it was. But now that I know, which is funny because I don't know, I'll have to watch my stream later. I'll have to go back into where you did the raid today because I actually set up an alert for it in the main viewing area, and it should have showed up. It should have showed up right here. And I don't know if it showed up as I wasn't paying as much of attention as I should have, because I honestly did not expect you to raid for 2 days in a row, since you said that you generally do random. And so I'm like, in case he ever comes back in again, or anyone else for that matter, I want to have it so I can notice it right when it happens, so I can appreciate everyone that's coming in and thank them, and just have that much more fun. And so yeah, no, thank you. I mean, so that you helped me learn so much more yesterday about my process as well as streaming than I think you realize. You were a catalyst for education yesterday, because after I reviewed the streams, I went and I looked up raids, and of course you get the pranksters out there, Wilney, and then you get the amazing people that have gotten huge in a short amount of time, like I think it's Mr. Beast, who will go and he'll donate thousands of dollars in a single stream just because he wants to encourage people as well. And I've been doing small donations here and there for people when I can, but I is the same mentality. I want to encourage people. And lucky 4,000. I don't think I saw that one. I saw a few streams a few recordings last night that were just, it was one Twitch streamer in particular that was doing Fortnite. You know, he gave, I think it was 30 grand to, and then he hung out with him in Fortnite for like an hour after that or something, and it was just to watch him appreciate the people that helped him basically get to where he's at, and to recognize that everyone needs that encouragement, and he just gives it out. He's like, here you go, have fun with it, keep doing you. And I really appreciate that. And so while I'm not able to go in those volumes, I still yeah, let's see, and if I don't get them in here in time, I will definitely, when I get today's stream on YouTube, so that way people with lower bandwidths can actually watch it as well, my regulars, I will make sure to put links in there as well. But let's see, I will go to my history real quick, and I will pull up the 30 grand one. Yeah, this one. Okay, pop, pause, and we'll just do it right from the beginning, and so you guys can watch this later at your convenience.
There's this one
Pause. Here you go. So yeah, it's Mr. Beast, and you know, he's so generous with what he does, but he remembers where he started, and that is amazing. I mean, one of my viewers had mentioned in a stream that, you know, once people get beyond like 11,000 streamers or followers, subscribers, whatever, that they tend to forget where they're at. I hope I'm never one of those people. And it definitely does not appear that Mr. Beast is one of those people, because he's always working on encouraging people. And so, yeah, no, definitely. I like to do stuff like this for people. And let's see, where are we at anyway? What time? It's already 4:30? Wow. I don't even know where the last half hour went. I've just been so immersed in chatting with you guys. Right? Okay, yeah. I know it's later for you guys. It's I think you and Sheppy are in the same time zone. Yeah, and now that I know about that, especially as I grow, I look forward to being able to do the same thing. Just to kind of give that extra boost for other people as well. What's this? 10,000. Let's see. So what is this saying here? I try to make fun of people for admitting they don't know things. Right? Okay. So I will definitely read. I'll leave this on my screen to read later. I'll leave this off on my screen to read later for sure, because I'm distracted with making sure I chat with you guys as well. But I want to read this. I love XKCD. I had totally forgotten about XKCD. I used to read their stuff all the time and like read the hover-overs. So I'm gonna minimize that for now so I'm not distracted by it. But just need to hang on just a second. I just need to move around a little bit. I get stiff standing in one place for so long, and I don't just mean stiff because of the braces, but especially after that little tumble earlier today, I got to keep the arms moving a little bit from time to time. So, and these braces are quite a bit of work, honestly. I mean, they go all the way up to here, from the bottom of my feet all the way up to here. So it's it can be, I've made sure that when I got them to get them well balanced so I can actually balance with them and be able to stretch a bit. Because from time to time, if I'm not actively walking around, it's necessary. And right now it's just, you know, it's just dark enough out, it's just wet enough that, well, today's not wet outside, but normally in the winter time it's just wet enough out that it's not safe with the crutches walking around, especially getting up the ramp to my house is made with the composite decking that gets really slippery when it's wet, I found out. And I slide around on the wheelchair. I won't ever get to unassisted walking because my back at L2 around my waist is completely severed. So there won't ever be an unassisted walking. I was in a car wreck when I was at 10 in 1993. And so my back completely severed. And so I am wheelchair bound. This is the first time in 20 years that I've been in walking braces since this April. I used to use walking braces from December of 1993 until early 1998 or 98, where the style of braces I had were a little different than what I have right now, but close, and the hip joint on them kept ripping off because, well, I didn't weigh quite as much then, and as soon as I hit to as soon as I got to 135 pounds, the maintenance became too much. Ripley's cargo loader, that's probably closer to the truth. These feel like that sometimes. And actually the other braces that I'm working towards are closer to that even because this is my only way to move around, is lifting up. The other ones have a cable in the back or a rocker bar, depending on the style, that I can go like this and I can shift my weight to move the legs forward. I can kind of do that with this, but that's only because of the natural give of the metal. It's probably not good for it either. But that one assists it to give an actual reciprocating motion. So I stopped using them for so long, and my legs, my hips, and my knees became like perma-bent, kind of like foot drop. And so like I got to a point where I was almost in a sitting position trying to lay flat even. And in 2014, when I found out that there was a possibility of getting back into standing braces, I started the long, tedious process to get back into them, doing daily stretches. I got a standing frame that I could, like if I have a bad sinus headache or a migraine, I can still use the standing frame. And that one, I start off sitting and it just like pumps using pneumatics into a standing position, but it's bulky, you can't really get anywhere in it. And so every day, just a little bit better, to the point where last November I was able to be casted for these braces, and I got to take them home early April this year. And so it's that's been a big portion. You know, what's not gaming videos on my YouTube channel is usually brace related, to encourage other people that, you know what, if you have the ability to and you're able to work towards a goal, work towards it. If you really want it, work towards it. Thank you so much for coming, and I will definitely be back at your channel. I enjoyed it greatly, and I look forward to it. And when I'm done here, I will definitely I'll head back over and I will make sure to add you as an auto host as well, because there's a good amount of time in there where I could be auto hosting. I think you're the only person on my list that's streaming at that point anyway, so you should get most of the views at that point. So have a great evening, Sheppy, and take care. And so for everyone else that's left, we have a little bit of time. Yes, let's see if I can do that standing up. There we go. There you go, Sheppy, just for you. And so we do have a little bit of time left. I see that we do have some extra people here still. We have MRD here, of course. I love your memes. And I know we have a few people that are lurking, which is okay. So if people are interested, I do have Stardew Valley open, and I can switch over to that now if you guys want, since we do have about 20 minutes or so that I still have to be up, right? I still have quite a bit of energy today, so I will definitely be hitting that 2-hour mark. So yeah, if that's of interest, let me know. If people want to keep chatting, feel free to start chatting and coming up with questions if you want, or whatever we want to chat about. Yesterday we had contemplated trying to do a story mode chat. I love doing voices. I haven't done them in ages, but I love doing voices. And so we had talked about the possibility yesterday of where people will do a story in the chat, keep it clean, but do a story in the chat, and then I will attempt to read out the chat in a narration mode, basically. Kind of like I do in Stardew Valley when I'm like doing the voices of the characters. And I know people expressed some interest yesterday in that. I know we probably have different faces in here today than were in yesterday. Eventually, I'd like to also give the option to do something similar to like a D&D or some type of role play. I have quite a bit of stuff to work out before I can do something like that on here. But it's definitely one of the ideas that were brought up. We also have... there's other games as well. There's occasionally I'll do some artwork. Sometimes I'll do even some programming on camera. We actually in stream. Hey, yes, you did. So I still have 3rd edition books. That's when I started playing. Oh no, I did play a little bit during AD&D. During back when there was still THACO. But I got the books, and they're actually behind me on the bookcase back there. The 3 core books when it was 3rd edition. Very nice. And see, that's the type of thing where I am looking to see what it would take to have, like a /roll command in the chat. If I can get all this stuff sorted out and I can get a system together, then I think that'd be fun where people can come in. I could have some pre-mades ready to go for if people don't, see being in for more than one stream or so. Have some pre-mades and just have fun and do random stories. I know Chatbot does stuff like that. I need to learn it, and I saw something like that today. Yeah, and it doesn't look that difficult. It looks like most of them link to PHP web scripts, which is amazing because that's the language I primarily work with is PHP. But okay, as an example, I'm going to flip this over to gaming and disable Stardew for a moment. Okay, so there's gaming. Let's disable Stardew. And we will re-enable my text editor for, I did this in an afternoon. Do not use Python's default RNG. They always return 1. So I did this with my stream. Oh gosh, MRD, what was this? 2 weeks ago I put this together. We did this one afternoon and I built upon it over the evening. But, just very basic. When we want to do a random thing, people can do random weeks or random activities. And it just gives people a way to interact even more. And I want to make this eventually so that it's server side and I can make it a true... I bet. That's like when I do stuff with database and I go, and I try to do an update command. There's one afternoon I misspelled it and I did not catch it. I wrote udpate. And so I was trying to udpate the database. I don't know what that means. And even more embarrassing, it was one of my friends who was not a programmer that found this error. And so, yeah, no, it definitely adds on some time to the scripting and debugging phases. But no, if I want to basically, I will eventually work on making an overlay that's just for, you know, like role-play style gaming, where, you know, I can press a button, or people can come in, I can give them an individual link to go to for their player, basically, and they can click for dice roll, and then the web service on my end will automatically upload every so often, or refresh like every 10 to 15 seconds. Something that won't put a strain on my web server, but will allow people to interact still. And so it'll be more interactive, and people can see what other people are rolling or how they're interacting, just to have more fun. Be able to put the map on the screen and all that fun stuff. So that's one thing I'd like to do eventually. I still have a little work to get there though. But it's definitely, you know, when that was mentioned yesterday, I think that idea was more of a hit than even me doing narration. But people did enjoy doing the voices yesterday. I know, like, oh gosh, we had probably 20-30 minutes of just voices and people listing the type of voices that they like to do, and versus what I've learned at varying degrees of success over the years. And MRD, I did verify earlier in the car when I was sitting, I can still do Goofy. I just apparently can't do Goofy while I'm standing up. So there is that. You're trying to get your PHP server to talk to your MySQL server. That sounds like it can be a whole ball of wax in itself. I know, especially with changes that they made a few versions back. The best advice I can give is pretty much how I started out. Is, aw, Mr. Kitty, meow. You know, Stack Overflow and so on. Those type of reference sites are my friend. They are very much my friend, especially for the newer stuff. So. And I just realized once again, I tend to use the word so as a fill gap, and I need to stop that. Maybe I need to commission MRD to make a cross with that says so on it, but it's like the red circle, and so users can do like a command, you know, like exclamation so or something like that as a command, and it just pops up and it's just like reminds me, don't say that, don't use fill gaps like that, bad Quixote. I should not be giving MRD ideas. That's a scary proposition. So yeah, actually we've almost completely, this is 2 days in a row we've almost completely filled the stream just completely with chatting. Tomorrow for sure, MRD, unless I get the table that I mentioned, because if I get the table, we're doing table assembly first and foremost. But if we don't get the table, then we will do for sure Stardew Valley will be our primary focus, at least for half of the stream tomorrow, MRD. Does that sound good? Since we're already almost at the end of the stream just from chatting? See, in that dice roller, it works well. What I need to do, what I'd like to do is have one that's more that I can control, like a button board that then sends a remote script to another thing that's just visible on here. But no, I do like that. Is that one that you put together? Is that the one that you put together, True? It looks like it has good potential. Very nice. And let's see here. I'm being a little snoopy. I apologize, but I'm looking at some of the code behind it because I am a programmer after all. It's what I do. And so it looks like it's primarily JavaScript on here. I like it. It's actually pretty dang clean. Very nice. Very well done. I like that you keep it clean. My code is not always as clean as I would like. I mean, just even, I will pop over here again real quick. So I try to make sure to keep good documentation. Sometimes I fall behind, but I try to keep it pretty clean. I've been utilizing a ton of jQuery since probably 2011. So just little fun stuff. You know, I'll be able to move it around like that. But you can come up with some fun stuff, and that's, again, being creative. That's one of the things that I enjoy, is the challenge of how to be creative. And programming gives so many things that you can do. You can get to the challenge of getting to that point. And so I love saying, you know, when I'm programming, I love being like, how can we make this work? How can we bend the computer to our will? So yeah. No, it looks good though. I like it. We may have to collaborate sometime. Just make sure you come back again or follow, so that way I know, and you can be like, hey, it's me, the randomizer programmer, or you know, or something, so that way I can know how to interact more, and we can try to get something put together. Because, you know, I do know that people, I'm surprised how many people, there's been like a resurgence almost in communities that I've been of like D&D and other role-playing styles, and I don't think I could come up with an entire storyline myself right now. I don't think I have the energy for that, but I could definitely be like the intermediary. Stuff happens on the screen. Let everyone kind of create their own story. And then we use like the randomizers, the dice and whatnot to just do like, does this action actually happen? Or does it fail? So everyone controls their own character. Thank you for following, Trina4. And that, ooh, you are follower 20. Very nice. So yeah, it basically, being able to, back in 2003, I had a message board. I still have the message board. It died once thanks to autofilter systems on Yahoo. I mentioned this yesterday, and I lost 7 years of code, including the initial version of my message board. On this message board, we had a story, a role-playing story that I think 5 or 6 of us were writing, called, I think we just called it Encounters. And it was a cross between Star Trek, Star Wars, StarCraft, something else. And so I basically created a character that was a commander of a Terran battle cruiser, and I ended up interacting with another character who was a Sith Lord, and so I became a Dark Terran in the storyline. And it was a fun series to write out, and we had, oh my gosh, we used simple machine forms, and we had a good 20 to 30 pages of form, like I forget how many like messages were on one page on the form, but you know, we would write out these responses that were 1,000 to 2,000 words just for a response for like the long dramatic stuff. We'd have smaller responses, obviously, for, if we... Oh, I missed something. One of my best campaigns started each player coming up with their own backstory and no real rules. I combine the backstories into the setting and starting plot hooks, right? In this scenario, though, there was... Like, the only starting scenario was basically somehow we ended up all crossing paths. And then everyone just kind of... The only real rule was people could only control their own characters and their own NPCs. You could do actions to set up for the response of another character, but our primary goal was to make this a fun story. So, like, if we did something where, you know, we'd end up harming another player in the game or in the story, the other player could determine whether or not that action actually took, which sometimes people played along and it did. Or they'd have a creative, written out, like, full explanation as to why that didn't happen. And it was just a ton of fun. And I when I re-implemented my message board, I tried to re-implement the new encounters, and it didn't, unfortunately it didn't take, because people were just, you know, all that work that we had done was gone, and we didn't have a way to get it back. And because the backup that I did have had gotten corrupted, unfortunately. So it was a huge waste. I was extremely frustrated. I mean, I fought with Yahoo for probably a month or two trying to just get at least a backup back of my account. But it wasn't happening, and it still hasn't happened. So unfortunately that didn't take off. But being able to do something like that here, where it's small, and people can do small things of controlling their own characters and just writing out a fun story. I mean, that seems like it would be that seems like it could be potentially quite a bit of fun. So yeah. Yeah, well, MRD, go and watch It's the Sheppy stream from earlier, and he puts it very well. Most large companies can be mean, especially when they get too big for their britches, or they get bigger. I mean, I get it. They have to stay within certain things for a lot of things. I mean, the company that does the fitting for my wheelchair, they have to jump all sorts of hoops to be able to be in so many different insurances network. And that puts more strain on me as a consumer, because stuff that my insurance may not necessarily need has all of a sudden become a requirement for the wheelchair company. And so in order to get what I need, I have to go through all these hoops of the wheelchair company if I'm not paying cash. So it's same type of thing for other companies. And this is why I generally don't like larger companies, is because they lose the sight of the individual. Hey, no worries. Legos are fun. I don't have it inside, but I have the original generation of the Lego Mindstorm. I don't have a way to program it anymore, so it's mainly just for the blocks. Eventually I'll get the updated version. So, but we are actually at that time. It is already, we are just coming at the 5 o'clock mark for Pacific Standard Time. And I'm at that 2-hour mark. And so it is time for me to start closing off the stream. I thank everyone that has come today. Big shout out to everyone, especially MRD, for the overlays and the amazing art as always. For It's the Sheppy for, the raid again yesterday and coming in and hanging out after your stream again today. I know that, after streams you can be that individuals can be a little tired. So thank you for coming and hanging out. Truna4 for hanging in there till the very end with us, along with MRD. I look forward to hanging out with people tomorrow. And again, tomorrow, if the desk does not arrive, or it arrives after the stream, we'll be focusing at least half of the episode or half of the stream on Stardew Valley. And we'll probably start off again with some chat. But if I need to, I'll set an alarm. So we'll get some Stardew in there. Again, I encourage everyone where I can. My current goal right now, thanks to Hugs, wow, I just failed on his name miserably. But basically, Hugs comes in, one of my regulars, and he had asked me if I have a donation goal, Elgato Stream Deck. I should have had a link ready to go. In fact, I do have a link ready to go. Give me just a second. I'll plop it up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This thing is amazing, and it will help eventually for me to get overlay switched between back and forth for you guys as I show off stuff that you guys do. Here you go, Amazon link, poof. So that's what I've been talking about. It's amazing. I've been watching videos on how it's used, so it'll eventually be a thing. But anyway, you guys have an amazing evening, and I will talk with everyone tomorrow back in the braces or working on a table. We'll see which happens tomorrow. Take care, guys. Bye.